So I get asked a lot about how or where to get started in this line. I've mentioned this before, but we're now more than a decade in with well over 200 figures deep. It's kind of like jumping into a well-established manga head first, so I can understand if it's a little overwhelming. But my advice has and always will be, start with what you like first and start with what you can and what's available. Which brings me around to this month's release. Sure, it might not be the most exciting release in this year, and sure, it might not be for some of us more seasoned collectors, but just think back to the beginning when we were all bright-eyed, fresh new collectors. Think of that feeling of picking up for the first time a brand spanking new God Goku as a regular release and at the sweet $30 price point. That's what it's all about, getting it out to the new collectors, and I guess making some money for Tamashii so they can fund new characters as well, and fortunately enough, there's a little something new in there for the veteran collector as well. Alright, so this is the third release of this figure, the other two being a premium Bandai exclusive. On my left, way back in 2017, and on my right, a 2021 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. But hang on there, 86, isn't this just a regular 2.0 body that we've seen a million times over by now? Well, yes and no. Yes, it does share the same torso and leg setup from the deeper V-cut gi of the 2.0 Goku mold, but this is technically a retool, or should I be saying the Saiyan raised on Earth is the retool, since this figure came out first. But the neck and the arms are slimmer than your regular Goku figure to better match the form the figure represents, Super Saiyan God. And while it's not perfect, and some may argue that Toyotaro has drawn him slimmer, out of all of the 2.0 variations we've gotten in the past up till now, this is probably my favorite. I prefer the deeper V-cut in the gi. I like the cleaner, thicker obi belt, and the slimmer arms and neck really match well with this head sculpt. Not to mention, it's a great body swap for your Toyotaro Ultra Instinct Goku as well. So, what's the difference? Well, before we get into that, just a little side note, I did repaint my premium Bandai release Goku head to a darker, glossier, more pearlescent shade of maroon or pinkish red. The original was a much lighter, almost pearly pink color, which didn't look bad, but there was a huge paint chip on the back of the head, so I tried to fix it, but ended up repainting it altogether. The body remains the same, so moving on to the differences, staying with the original premium Bandai release, the gi is a lot more yellow than orange with bright blues for the inner gi and shoes and belt. The event exclusive, however, I think is probably the best of both worlds. You have your lighter blues, but you also have a very vibrant orange, with darker oranges for the shading. For the new regular release, the colors are darker oranges with some almost red shading on the gi, and the blue areas of the gi, belt, and shoes are now a lot darker than the previous two versions. The logos on the front and the back are the same, nice and crispy, and to be honest, there really isn't a right or wrong amongst the three. It's down to personal preference. But I do really like the event exclusive colors. They just pop a little more for me, and I've always preferred a lighter blue. Now for the heads. First up, the hair color. The first premium Bandai release, like I mentioned earlier, was originally a light, much lighter, almost pink color, with a glossy, almost metallic finish. The event exclusive is your straight up clear, translucent maroon plastic, reddish kind of pink, see-through plastic thing that we've all seen, and either you hate it or you like it. And I would have to say the best way to describe the newest version is a kind of straight up cherry red with a glossy finish. Again, personal preferences here. You could argue one version represents Goku when he's engulfed in the God aura, and the other is just Goku in his more neutral mode. Either way, we have options, and the faceplates are interchangeable between the three, so you can mix and match. Speaking of faces, we get 4 faces in total, 2 of which are the same as the previous releases, and 2 which are slightly different to what we've gotten so far. I'm sure you've heard this one before, but it's all in the eyes. We get a smirk and teeth gritting expression, which are the same, but we also have a shouting expression looking off to the side, which is probably inspired by the first time Goku attacks Beerus in the Battle of Gods movie. And the stern expression, looking dead straight on, is now replaced by, you guessed it, looking off to the left side, which isn't the biggest change in the world, but it does make those Kamehameha charging poses look a lot better, I think. Clean paint, 2 new faces, and interchangeable with your previous God Goku figures. What more can you ask for? So, is this a good 2.0? Well, in terms of quality control and all that, fortunately, yes. This new release counts as a good batch. It feels as good as his previous release, brethren, and there doesn't seem to be any mold degradation like the infamous Full Power Goku. All in all, it's solid in all departments. Something that you probably want to watch out for is some paint scuffing around the mid-torso. As you can see on my figure, there is a little bit of paint scuffing around that area, so just do be careful that that is an area that is prone to paint rub, and I guess scratches if you're a collector who likes to keep their figures in pristine condition. So for accessories, no surprises here, just your standard 2.0 hands to help you recreate those God Goku action poses. We get a pair of fists for punching Beerus or Broly in the face, a set of Kamehameha hands for Kamehameha-ing, a set of Goku fighting style hands, also handy for the key binding move he uses against Broly, another set of open palm blast hands for all your generic blasting, and a pair of flat palm hands for slicing away ki blasts or just saying hello. Alright guys, no surprises here. Even with the thinner neck and thinner arms, it's still your standard 2.0 Goku body mold, so he does move pretty much the same. So head looks up, pretty good. Looks down, just as well. Side to side tilt, fantastic. Left and right swivel, assisted there by the very handy independent neck joint. Alright, arms are going to go out about 90. 360 there at the shoulder. We do have a decent butterfly joint. Actually a lot better than I thought. So yeah, for all of your Kamehameha poses, I think it's going to work pretty good. We have an upper bicep swivel. Before I forget, the butterfly joints are orange, the same color as the gi, which I like, looks much better. Double elbows, swivels at the wrist, and of course, your standard hinge as well, if I can get it to focus. There we go. Alright, so for the torso, standard stuff, you can lift it up, push it forward. Not going to go forward too much, but if you do know how to modify this thing, it will get a lot more range. But Tamashii does put in those restricted tabs in the mid-torso here, you know, for good reason. But if you do want that extra bit of articulation, pop off the torso and there should be a tab there that you can snip off, and it gets much better range going forward. Anyway, going back as is, about that much. We do get waist swivel and some tilt going left and right as well. Okay, the belt is a separate loose piece, so that's not going to get in the way of your articulation. Fantastic 180 splits going backward and forward. Pretty decent going left and right. It's okay. Double knees. The feet are on double ball pegs, so it goes down about that much. Goes up, not too bad. You get your toe hinge, of course, and unfortunately not the best ankle tilt, but it's okay. So all in all, standard stuff. Still pretty good articulation, but definitely can be better. It's now your classic 2.0 articulation, and yeah, you can still have some fun with it. Alright, so new body means head swaps. Okay, so let's start off with some base form heads, and we have the worst out of the bunch. Well, in my opinion, the worst out of the bunch. Your standard Saiyan raised on Earth, and it looks pretty good. No surprise here. Cleaner belt, brighter oranges. Yeah, I think this fits and works pretty good. Alright, second base form head, we have the wind-swept hair from the Goku accessory pack. I actually like this head. It's definitely one that we needed, that we've been asking for quite a while now from Tamashii. If I can actually get it to tab on, and I don't know why it's being such a pain, but alright, there we go. I think I have it on. It's not on there that securely, but yeah, there we go. Again, looks pretty cool. I like this much better than the first head. Alright, next one we have the 1.0 base form head Goku. One of my favorite heads in the entire line, even to this date. And I think this works really well as well. I would lose the symbol, would make it, you know, more of a, I guess, a Cell Saga kind of Goku, base form Goku, but yeah, I think this works pretty cool as well. Didn't have to use any blue tack. It does snap on, but it is a little bit loose, so keep that in mind. Alright, next let's go with the full power Super Saiyan Goku head. Nice click there. And this isn't too bad either, I think. I know I said the arms are slimmer, but yeah, that actually does work quite well. I like that. This is a custom paint job. I did repaint this head just to make it, you know, look a little bit more accurate to the anime. Another Super Saiyan head, Super Saiyan 2. One of my favorite, all-time favorite releases. And my favorite Goku form of all time. Let's get that to focus. I think Super Saiyan 2 should be a little bit bulkier. He looks a little bit too relaxed. The body looks a little bit too relaxed. I like the colors though. But there we go. Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Hopefully we get a regular release of this guy because he was only an exclusive. So the next head sculpt we have is a kind of a custom Super Saiyan Blue head made by myself. I can remember when we first got Super Saiyan Blue, and he had this, you know, he had the Toro, like the two strands of hair at the top of his bangs, which the original didn't, and I really wanted to have that look, so I kind of re-sculpted it and made my own. So there we go, there's a Super Saiyan Blue Goku on this body, and I think that works really well. Again, slimmer body, works well with this form of Goku, I think. And it really depends on, you know, if you're going manga or anime. Alright, sticking with Super Saiyan Blue, this is the Kaioken version. The V-Jump magazine exclusive. And that fits. The skin tones don't match, of course, because he has that kind of aura, pearlescent finish. But yeah, I think, you know, with these pink lights that I have in the background, I think it works pretty well. This is an official head. So yeah, I like it. Not too bad. Next we have the event exclusive San Diego Comic-Con Super Saiyan God head, and yeah, works nicely with this body as well. Obviously, no surprises here. I'm a fan of the translucent plastic. I think, it reminds me of those, those old HG Dragon Ball minifigures when they had kind of those translucent colored hair pieces. So I dig it. The next one we have is the Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku head from, I think this is the Japanese release, the official Japanese release. But if you have the US version, it should fit and work pretty well as well. I like this actually. Yeah, I think that's a winning combination. Alright, so we're moving on to the last two heads, and the first one we have is the Toyotaro edition Ultra Instinct head, and I've done this before with the event exclusive Super Saiyan God body, but yep, I like how this looks. You know, Ultra Instinct isn't always in his, battle damaged, torn up gi. He does obviously sometimes start off like this, but I like it. Pretty cool. Alright, and the last head we have is the wind-swept version from the same figure. And yeah, I think this works really well. Windswept hair, eyes closed, really kind of tranquil. But yes, again, great base body. If you have, more than one Goku, and I'm sure most of us do, just have fun with it, mix and match. I'm sure you can come up with a look or a form that you like using this body. It's just really versatile, and again, at that $30 price point, you just can't go wrong. So yeah, enjoy, have fun with it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I'm all for the budget release, and this in my opinion is a perfect example of how new collectors can get their foot in the door whilst bringing something a little new to the table. Sure, in a perfect world, it would have been amazing to get a completely brand new body for God Goku, and honestly, I still prefer the look of the unreleased 1.0 prototype God Goku that was showcased at some convention. What we have here isn't bad at all too. It's not going to win Figure of the Year, but it serves its purpose in giving us a second chance at a relatively expensive figure on the aftermarket at your minimum retail price. And if these budget releases help fund new characters down the line, then even better. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself right now, but great release. I'd like to see more of these, especially for figures that have been out of our reach in terms of price or exclusivity. I think I'd like to see the same done for the Ultra Instinct Omen body, but maybe give us a Super Saiyan head instead. But what would you guys like to see get the budget release treatment? Let us know in the comments. Alright guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the review. Likes, comments, and shares are always appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one, which should be Kaiju number 8, Reno. Really looking forward to that one. Alright guys, have a good one. Enjoy that spring sunshine, and as always,
Yoroshiku!